pain we carried now set aside. We lay down our weapons, we open our arms. All is one, all is sacred, no more harm. Tears fall like rivers, hearts heal the scars. God whispers softly, well done, my stars. Light pours down from heaven's dome. We find the truth and never alone. Every life a thread in the eternal year. Together we shine brighter than we could believe. We lay down our weapons as we open our arms. All is one, all is sacred, no more harm. Tears fall like rivers, hearts heal the scars. God whispers softly, well done, my star. Hear my voice, Yahweh, guard my life from fear. Hide me from the plotting crowd whose words draw close and near. They sharpen tongues like blades of steel, their speech as arrows fly. They shoot in ambush at the blameless, unseen beneath the sky. They strengthen evil thought to heart, conspire in hidden snares. They whisper, who can see our plans, who knows our secret.
Hello, welcome. I'm a little bit late today because I was in this fabulous session with my woodburn club, and we were just trying a new nib. Too many hobbies for sure. Um, but you know, it's always good to experiment. And what I really like of wood burning is that you you really meditate and you have to slow down and you have to synchronize with your breathing. So that's really cool. I like that for sure. Because with drawing, when you do it a lot, you get to a certain level of imposing and forcing things because you know the tricks and the hacks. And I felt that eventually I got disconnected from the process of doing it. And I decided, I don't know if you guys can listen to me with the music blasting in the background. So I'm going to tune it down. And yeah, that looks okay. So wood burning is really cool if you want to meditate and relax and be present. The only thing that I need to make sure is not to breathe the smoke. Today I inhale it and I can feel it in my throat. Um, I need to figure out why my masks don't work for me. Um, they just don't work, and I follow a lot of precautions. Mm, so I don't know why they're not working correctly. I guess I'm gonna get a new mask, one that is more functional, and see how it goes with that new mask. Because right now, ooh, this thing is coming out. Nasty, nasty, that wire. Okay, one thing that I didn't do correctly, and I want to let people know, is that you see that little wire here? That was my mistake because I shouldn't have cut it so short before making sure the proportions were fine. You live, you learn, right? So there's a level of things that in life that I would love to know ahead of time. And I think he mentioned it, but I didn't pay attention in the moment. I was too worried about moving forward with the project. I just wanted to get things done. And now I have to deal with this ugly, ugly thing that's happening in his finger that looks like crooked. And it's because I was too impatient. So don't be impatient. Never be impatient, because then you're gonna work even more when you make a mistake. And that's what I'm learning. So, what is the benefit of this working with this? Is mainly being present and feeling like things are going your way. I think our life nowadays is so full of distress and uncertainty and chaos and overwhelm, and everything is changing and we don't even know what to do anymore. We have been under this pressure since 2019, and it's not getting any better, right? So there's this whole chaos, and everybody's tired. Everybody just wants world peace and stability and settling down. As a group, we haven't really achieved that. Really haven't. So more and more people are realizing that government and the people in power and the people with the money, they don't care about us. Pretty much, it's the reality. And we have to create our own sense of peace, our sense of centeredness, and not fall for the hype. Yes, there are things that we need to learn. There are things that we need to adapt and survive. But there are other things that we need to take responsibility of. And right now, more than ever, with all this AI thing, you need to be a very spiritual person for sure. By the way, feel free to drop a hello in the chat, and just talk about anything that you feel is important. But yeah, we really need to let go of the idea that we have any control. There are things that we can control, like how we feel, and that's the extent of many things. How we feel, how we think, and develop that sense of, doesn't matter what happened, I'm gonna make it. And that's a tough one, right? Because we don't feel like we can make it. It's like, I'm not sure I'm gonna survive the apocalypse that is coming. Well, do we have another choice? It's gonna come, so we better get into that horse and try to control as much as we can. And even sometimes I feel like we don't even know if there is any problems. Do you remember the story of the little chick that was yelling, "The sky is falling"? I feel like I have been in this "the sky is falling" segment where since 2019 everything is like, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world. And then we are not reaching the end of the world. We kind of make it. There's a lot of people that they benefit from scaring us and putting on this fear-based mode. So I'm suspicious. I just really don't go into media, news, and maybe that's part of the plan to get people apathic. I know for sure that votation times comes. I know I'm not gonna vote for a specific party because I'm fed up with that party. I'm like, I'm done with you people. There are good things, but I was like, yeah, you don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry. The other people neither. I know no party is better, but some parties are like, oh boy, that party. No, that's a really bad one. Um, and to be honest, it shouldn't be even about your party, my party. It should be about where do we want to go as a country and why do we want to go there and negotiate and get to agreements. And theoretically it's happening, but then the whole speech is about you versus me and all this fear mongering bullshit, and dividing people against each other is so stupid and we're falling for it. If you see arguments and discussions online, it's like, why are you brainwashed to defend this when it's not even benefiting you? Like, what are you defending? It's just manipulation, pure manipulation from the people in power. And I'm like, okay, don't let yourself fall for that trap. I still have my beliefs because, as a tribe, people behave differently in different tribes. In every tribe, you will have a tribe that it will be all about training and protecting the tribe and not letting strangers and foreigners to get into the tribe. And that was a survival mechanism that worked. And then you had other tribes that they were more about, oh, the more people and the more variation I get into my tribe, the better. And then I get along with the other tribes. We have better relationships and alliances. And then the people in that tribe wanted to help each other and all the stuff. And then you have other individuals and tribes that they're like, no, it's about me and my people, and I only care about protecting my family, my tribe. So I don't care about your tribe. So it's different strategies, survival strategies with pros and cons. But we can all agree that at this point in the history of humanity, we are so interconnected that there's no separation anymore. There's no Chinese versus Koreans versus Japanese or Americans versus this. It's like, no, we are all the same. At this point, it's like, no, we are all the same. And the people in government, they want power, they want control. I'm not gonna say that they're not trying to defend their tribe in a certain way, but at the same time, do we need that defense? No. We can all live harmoniously in peace if we choose to. I know a majority of people don't want war. They don't want the war. Who wants the war? The people in power, the people that want to control the resources. They want war for sure. And I'm thinking, why? Why are we playing this game as a society? Why did we vote for people that are going to hold wars against innocent people just because, first, they don't give a shit, and second, they want the money, the resources? Why are we voting those people? And they're liars. They didn't say, oh, we're gonna do this. They said, oh, we want world peace and we want to end all wars. And then they start wars. So I'm like, oh, okay. And of course, the excuse is like, oh, they didn't start it. Well, they didn't end it. And that was the promise. Did they keep the promise? No. So I don't care what justification you want to give me. They said they weren't going to do something and they didn't. And if it was the other party, you would hold it against them. So be fair and say, yeah, if I would measure the party that I don't like by these standards, they would have failed and this person failed. So yes, they failed, they didn't do it. I shouldn't defend this group of people or this person because they didn't hold their word. And that's it. That's a reality. They made a promise and they didn't keep it. Why would you measure your enemy so harshly, but then your friends is like, oh, he just had a bad day, or he's just tired, or he's dealing with a lot of crap? Well, you didn't give that benefit to the other guy when things didn't go as planned. So at the end of the day, please don't believe in people in government, because some people, they want to do a lot of good. A lot of people, they just have to navigate the interests of the people behind the money. So yeah, they're gonna try to do a little bit of good, but they're not perfect. They are not free of sin, because they are navigating really difficult waters. That's it. That's the truth. I would never be a politician because it's so nasty business, such a nasty business. Um, and there's no honor anymore in politics. There's no honor. That has went away. The civil way of conversing and thinking and getting to an understanding, or at least pointing at things that are obvious and logical without having to talk trash about the other person. That's so hideous. I mean, like, oh my god, I see the stuff, and I'm like, why should I vote for any of you clowns? None of you behave like an adult. Why should I vote for you? So, and then on top of it, I don't agree with people older than a certain age making those decisions, because there's this huge disconnection between the new generations and the younger people with these people that were from 50, 60 years ago. There's this huge disconnection. Like, we're not living in the same times, and you're making decisions for me. It's like grandpa, grandpa never dies, and he keeps deciding for the rest of the family 4 generations later what is good and bad. And it's like, oh, we're not in biblical times, okay? Like, the young people need to decide for themselves. It's time for you to retire, grandpa. I get it. You can advise as an elder, you can deliver your wisdom, and we're gonna listen to you. But oh good lord, like, you cannot bring this talk of 50 years ago life was amazing, because we are not in that time. It would be lovely to travel time and go back in time and say, oh, we're back to this, but we can't. And the world is totally different, and we're dealing with very complex problems that people didn't deal with them back then. So it's kind of infantile to try to bring that same view into a time and place that is not there anymore. It sounds like a beautiful idea, like, oh yeah, everything was so cool back then. That's your brain cheating and lying to you, because I'm pretty sure you weren't happy in your when you were living in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s. You weren't happy because there were also problems back then, and there was a lot of stress and a lot of tension. I don't know if you remember the Cold War, but that was real. Everybody was really freaking out about having an atomic bomb being dropped on top of their heads. That was a reality. So would you say, oh, we were happy? Well, sometimes maybe you were happy, but not all the time. And the same with our age now. We're living in really good times, in the sense that, most of things are covered. We're not gonna have terrible outcomes in general, and we have most of our needs covered. At least the important stuff, the basic medicine, that you're not gonna die of an infection. That's a pretty good one. You don't have maybe access to the best food, but you have access to some food. In other times, people were actually starving. They were dying because they were malnourished. So we're living in better times. It's just the chaotic perception that we don't belong anywhere. Like, we're isolated, that we don't have a real group of people that we can feel connected to. And I think that's the main issue. It's like, people are feeling so disconnected from each other and divided and separated, that it's hard to have this sense of happiness. And I think that was the thing that maybe Americans were missing, was that sense of belonging to something. Like, oh, after the World War, people were like, oh, we are the winners, we won the world, and the war, and now we can rebuild the world. And of course, America had very good deals all over the place, and the economy had an advantage. And then everybody's like prospering, and you get to do whatever you want to do. So of course, people associate that time, that discourse, that unity, as this is what Americans were always. And of course, you are gonna miss it. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of Cuban people, they miss the Cuban Revolution times because of that sense of unity and direction, and the narrative of we're doing something great. They miss it. The same, the hippies, they miss the 60s because it was that feeling of the Renaissance, and we're stepping into spirituality and all these things. But then nobody remembers the problems from the 60s, you know, the drugs, the addictions, the colds. All the things were real too. Not every hippie was having a wonderful time, I'm going to tell you that. A lot of people were lost in that period because they engage in drugs, and they engage in colds, and they engage in depression and PTSD with the Vietnam War. So saying that everything back before was better is because you were a kid, you weren't an adult, you didn't know the horrors and the bad things that the adults had to suffer before you, and in those times you were just a child. But if you ask the adults, it's like, hey, how the 50s men or went for you, they're gonna be like, oh gosh, the 50s. They're gonna be like, it wasn't great. Nostalgia is a real phenomenon. I know that when I watch cartoons from my infancy, I have this nostalgia of the good memories, when in reality they weren't really good cartoons, and there were a lot of issues around what these cartoons were trying to portray in terms of propaganda and bullshit. And I'm sure, well, I'm 100% sure that my parents weren't 100% happy in the 80s saying, oh, everything is wonderful. No, they had issues, they had their own concerns. They wanted to leave the country. They didn't want to stay in Cuba. So that tells you that everything was not perfect and amazing, as you know, other people might remember. And I get it. Some people were very benefit by the Cuban Revolution, and for them it was a win. But for other people it was not. So there's no perfect solution. And I think it's better to find the middle ground and be like, we don't need to go to the extremes of one form of thinking and then to the extreme of the other form of thinking. That's not conducive to anything good, to be honest. So anyway, this hand is not amazing, but I'm kind of okay-ish with it. It's not the greatest thing in the planet, but it's good enough. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. That looks so bad. Oh, so bad. Oh gosh. I'm trying to hide the wire, and the wire is like, no, I'm here. You need to take care of it. It's gonna be so annoying. Such an annoying experience with the hand. I think the moment I hit the jackpot, I'm done. It's like, I'm not going back to this thing again, ever again. So let's do this wonderful exercise that I've been practicing myself. It's called the Lofty Questions. And I really like it because it's about opening your brain to possibilities and solutions instead of getting stuck in victimhood. And we go through life asking these trap questions, which are, why is it that I never get to make money? Why is it that everything goes wrong? Why is it that every time I work hard, everybody screws me over, right? We have these assumptions and beliefs out of frustration because of our inner state is negative, obviously. We're in a kind of victimhood state. And when we do that, we are setting ourselves for failure, because what is the brain going to answer to that question? So we want to change that first feeling in the morning when you wake up and you're like, there's nothing to look forward to, or oh my god, my day is going to be horrible, I have to work on here or this place, I have to deal with this person, anything that will trigger you like, oh, today the day is not going to be amazing. This is a wonderful practice because when you wake up in the morning, you're still in that alpha state where you're in dreamy land, unconscious, conscious, and instead of ruminating in the feeling of the body, that is probably because you went late to bed, and or you ate the wrong food, or you did something wrong, right? And your body's extra tired and you haven't taken care of your body in a long time. So what happens is that you have this feeling, inner state, and you're like, I feel yucky. And then of course it's like, oh gosh, I need to work. Oh my god, why do I need to deal with this solar problem? Or oh my god, I don't want to deal with what is the day ahead of me, right? That type of feeling can be changed with this practice, the lofty questions. So I do it, I tap in the morning, and I feel in my body, it's like, ooh, I'm not feeling amazing. Maybe because I'm in pain, maybe because I'm tired, maybe because I feel heavy. And it's always like I ate too late, or I didn't sleep enough, or I overexercised, or I overstressed my nervous system, I didn't recover. It could be anything, pretty much hormones. You know, we go through these cycles, and there's a good cycle, and then you drop with a bad cycle. Our hormones are really messed up. I'm not gonna lie. There is an epidemic with hormonal issues, and you need to track that, because you know, like, this is my hormones, and you need to meditate on it and be like, it doesn't matter where it goes, I cannot let myself be dragged by it, and I'm gonna do the extra care, take self-care measurements, extra rest. Don't engage in anything that is a little more hype if you don't feel like it, or even don't show up to things if you feel like I'm not in the mood for this. I just want to do something by myself and connect with whatever. Or you just need to calm down because there's all this sensorial overstimulation, and sometimes you need to detox from it, like go and do something with your hands, with your thinking, go back to the natural way of doing things, and that's going to help you to go back to center. At least it does for me. And sometimes I sacrifice things because it's like, I need this time with myself, like what I'm doing today. And art is healing, and we are in a time where there's a lot of disease in our bodies and our minds and hearts, and art is the way to heal that, is the cure. We are kind of like neglecting a little bit art, because it's like, if art doesn't produce money, what is the purpose? And it's like, well, art is like brushing your teeth. If you don't do it, you're going to develop cavities and it's going to be worse. So every day you need to do your art. Even if you don't sell it, even if it never means anything, that art is for your own healing. It's about who you are, it's about insights, it's about giving you calm center, and it will open the door to something else. So art is fundamentally important for spiritual development and for calmness and mental health. And as long as we allocate the time to do art, even if it is a little bit of art or craft, every day, you are doing a solid to your mental health. And the computer doesn't count. I don't feel like the computer doesn't give me the sense of satisfaction that traditional, using your hands, crafting gives you. That sensorial connection between your hands and your senses and your brain is super important. So anyway, with the lofty questions, the whole point is to ask better questions. Even if you don't know how to answer them, it's going to shift the feeling. It's going to move you from negative to positive. And you need to start with things that are believable, not with stuff that is a little like bullshit. So for me, in the mornings, I wake up, and if I feel, I go like, how is it, like, why is it that I always wake up and I can see the opportunities and possibilities of the wonderful things I can do with my day? Why is it that every time I wake up, ideas come to me, creative ideas? Or why is it that I'm so organized that I already know what is ahead of me in front of my day, and I can feel how things are going to go for me and how I'm going to win? Why is it that technology is always assisting me and helping me to get stuff done quicker and better every time? Why is it that my body is healing and getting better and better um, every time I work with it? And I know that, why is it that I'm always getting stronger or more aware? Or why is it that I have the strength, the mental strength to dictate how my day is going to go, right? So you come up with things that are still believable, but they're empowering, because you're not letting yourself fall into the depression of, oh my God, what else is going to happen? And that's the other thing. When things are happening that you don't like, having a journal session, asking really good questions, saying, hey, I'm not at fault here, but what is it that I'm missing that is not helping me, that is not making my life better? Why is it that this situation is happening, and how can I fix it? And your brain is going to go into fixing mode and say, well, this is the answer. And things that you're not aware of because you are in the automation of going through the things and having too many activities in the day, and you're too busy, when you take the moment to really sit down and ask those questions, it's like, oh, aha, that's the solution to my problem. And today I had a very good conversation with my husband about energy and things. So he was saying, if you're a person that you tend to resonate with chaos and you tend to get overwhelmed with chaos and uncertainty, you need to make sure that there's the most amount of certainty and balance in your life. Some of the people, they're okay with stressful situations, they can handle them. Other people can't. So if you're that person, you need to be wise enough to make sure that you are reducing the amount of stress in your life. And that can come through toxic people, toxic environments, toxic relationships, toxic work, health, everything. The things that you consume are toxic. I know that a lot of people, they love their coffee. Believe me, I was the human being that thought I cannot be without caffeine. Seriously, I thought I cannot operate in this world without caffeine. Like, it's impossible. I just can't. Well, guess what? It will get a point that if you don't quit caffeine, you cannot operate, period. Caffeine is going to ruin your hormones for sure. Not everybody's the same, but I can tell you, for me, caffeine is problematic, very problematic. And I see a lot of people, especially women, that they say, I'm having all these ups and downs, and I'm having all these hormonal issues and all this problem, but they are overindulging in caffeine and sugar. I'm like, of course you're having those problems. It's kind of impossible not to have those problems, because you're older, you haven't detoxed in a gazillion years, you have been eating this shit all your life, and the body cannot handle it anymore. And the first thing that goes out of the window is your hormones, your digestive system, and your nervous system, pretty much. So you want to have a better experience, you have to quit stuff and start for something that you can quit, something that is not a big deal. Maybe change your work environment, maybe move by yourself so you control your environment better, having that independency, and other things in your life, like how do you spend your money? Do you want to spend your money in that way, or do you want to spend your money in a way that is empowering you? So pretty much the way we talk about it was like energy. There are things that give you energy, and there are things that take you any energy. And if you take balance of it and you write down, does this give me energy or not? Yes, no. And you put that and you start seeing like, oh my God, there's so many things that steal my energy, and I only have throughout my day a couple of things that give me energy. And even when they give me energy, It's a fake borrowing from loan from the bank energy. Like for example, coffee. Oh yeah, it makes you feel good and it gives you this hype for maybe 2 hours, and then the crash is for the rest of the day. And I'm like, is it worth it? No. Because yes, you're getting energy now, but you have to pay for it later. So what is the point? And there are things that give you energy that they are not really expensive, like drinking warm water, drinking a tea, a herbal tea, eating like water-based food. Oh, I eat a banana, I eat a strawberry, I eat a cucumber, or I drink water with cucumber and strawberry, which is amazing. There are so many things you can do to hydrate, and hydration gives you energy. And it also helps with the hunger, right? Or the anxiety of putting something in your mouth. So water or any form of liquid that is not caffeine, my goodness, caffeine dehydrates you. It's a diuretic. So people say, oh, I'm drinking 2 tons of water with my coffee, and it's like, yeah, but it's a diuretic. Doesn't matter what you drink, you're gonna pee it anyway, so that's not good. What other thing that can give you energy? Qigong, exercise can give you energy. Yeah, in the moment it feels like a drain and oh my god, I want to do it. But after the fact, after you push yourself through it, you get a lot of energy for the investment. So it is a good deal to do it. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, okay, this is good. I should continue doing this. Listening to music can give you energy. And doing things to calm you down, surprisingly, they give you energy too. Because when you calm the nervous system down, you breathe better and your entire system works more efficiently. And that's the whole point of Qigong, is to maximize energy. Because we need the energy for sure. And then the nervous system, we are very stimulated in this time and age because of the content that we consume and the way we consume it. In the past, people had a very natural, slow life. And I know because I lived that time. I'm 42 years old, so I remember when things were slow and you only had TV for after 6 p.m. That was the time for children to watch TV, and it was like a little amount of time. And then you would go to sleep because there was nothing else to do. So I remember the times when life was really slow. And of course, way better for your nervous system, my goodness. Maybe you could call it boring, but at the same time, it was so great for creativity because you need to come up with your own fun, your own thing, and then you realize the things you like. And now these days, children are overall overstimulated by the technology. And I want to teach my kids to know the opposites of overstimulated to really peaceful. So we take them camping and they like it. But they do it for maybe 2-3 days and they're done. It's like, okay, I cannot continue doing this. But it's a good experience for them to feel like there's nothing else to do than being present in nature. And they love it. And I personally like it too, because that's where the noise, the mental noise, goes away. And I think the electromagnetic stuff that is going on in the city, it really affects our electromagnetic field. It really affects it, and we feel like disjointed, because when there's a blackout, I feel amazing. I feel like, oh, this is so peaceful, right? The electricity makes sound, and there is this like antagonistic feeling to me all the time with the energy that I don't feel or experience that when I'm outside and I'm in nature. It's like, oh, I feel so much better. I feel more relaxed. I can relax. So I call it like being in an electric fall. You're in an electric fall and you're kind of like fighting against it, and there's this noise and there's this pressure on top of you, but you don't notice it. until you walk away from the thing and it's like, oh my god, I suddenly can feel like I'm stretched. So that happens to me with the electricity around, and it's not my imagination. I have experienced it. Like, yeah, there's a quality that changes when you don't have electricity going around you. And they all make sound, by the way. I always like, oh, that's making sound. The other thing is making sound. And this is making sound. There's so much noise around us that is annoying. Um, but it is what it is, and I don't think my husband would accept to go live in a farm or I don't know in a jungle. He's not that. He likes nature, but kind of like go and come back and all that stuff. Well, I'm more like, hey, why don't we live here? Imagine being in nature and you're just painting and there's nothing else to do, and your life becomes very slow, like a temple life. It's like, oh, I assume that you won't be even hungry because you are so calm at that point. There's nothing to do. Why should I stress about stuff? I think our mission as a generation is to become a monk um, in this crazy life. It's like I'm gonna wake even when all the odds are against me, and that's my plan, to awaken in this lifetime. And I remember when I was, I don't know, 9 years old, or I don't know, 12, I can't remember. I think it was 12. I was watching people that lived at the bottom of my building. My building was the tallest building, and I lived in kind of like a 12, 15 floor. And I could see the people down there that they lived in two-story homes. And I always saw the same person sitting in the same place or doing the same routine and never getting away from their block. They were just sitting there, never going anywhere. And it was the same routine, everything, every day. And then I'm looking at it, they look like ants. And I'm thinking, that's how we look to God, right? If there's a universal consciousness, this is what we look like. We never go to places. We kind of stay in the same reality. And that was the moment that this idea came to me, and I don't think I ever thought about it or heard about it, but the word transcendence came to my mind. I was like, it was kind of like a spiritual insight of, I came here to transcend the illusion. I was like, I came here to transcend this existence, the trap, the cage, the bullshit. And it always stuck to me like, oh, that's my mission. My spiritual mission is to transcend this reality, the belief of the illusion. And apparently that's not something that a lot of people experience. Because I talk about it with my mother-in-law, and she was like, oh my god, you really have complicated conversations in your head. Like, it's not that complicated. I'm like, what do you mean? What is the purpose of being in here and suffering and going through all this ordeal if there's no mission or thing to aim to? Like, why am I here? She's like, because it is what it is. I'm like, no, I need existential answers. And existential answers can only be answered experientially. Yeah, teachers and gurus, they point at it, but you have to experience it to be like, oh, that's real. It is true. I went through it. And that's the problem that I find for me in the Bible. For some people, reading it is enough to feel it and calm themselves and be like, oh, that's the truth. And they can embrace it and live with that. For me, it's more like, how can I really trust, this book or the other book? How can I really know if this person was not delusional, crazy, had some mental illness, and imagine the whole story? And for me, it's more about the experience of going through transcendental rituals or exercises or routines. And I think I'm very interested in that because of suffering, right? A person that really doesn't suffer, they don't think that deep. They're like, oh, my life is great. I'm getting all my goals. I'm doing pretty well. I'm healthy. I have my hobbies. I like my work. I like my family life. Why should I do anything? That's enough. But for me, it's like the suffering of, oh my God, so many people are suffering. I had a very terrible experience as a child because I suffer a lot in a chronic, consistent base. And I had these philosophical inquiries at an age that didn't make sense, I guess, because of the suffering and not having solutions and answers. And I remember having this guide, spiritual guide, that he gave me an answer. And in that moment, I was like, oh, this is the path for me. This is the way I process, this is the way I understand things. And pretty much the answer was like, you're suffering because you need to understand humanity. You need to connect to humanity. If you don't suffer, you would never experience what others are experiencing, and you would never be able to connect with them. And I think in my personal artistic journey, that's something that could be my voice, my expression, is to make art that is healing, that people can look at it and feel that it means something to them. And that can only happen if you can understand the person of what it feels like. I cannot speak a language if I never had heard it before. And suffering is a sort of language. Feeling empathic towards the people that have gone through stuff. And I think the majority of people that embrace this spirituality is because they have suffered. Maybe in India and the East, people would embrace the spirituality, even if they're positive people, because it's kind of cool and it's kind of expected. But here in our Western world, it's not like that. I hope that you're enjoying Alberto's music. I cannot hear it because I'm playing it for you guys in the laptop. I'm thinking maybe I need to get a better camera shot. Is the hand looking better? I don't know. I wouldn't call these better, just different. And at least it looks bigger and more fleshy. Is that something I want? I don't know. I know some people, they have strong hands and very bulky. My friend, he had to use these crunches. I had very strong hands like were super bulky like this one, and had really strong knuckles and fingers, and it has this big shape because he was using them so much. He couldn't walk correctly, but he was using crunches to move from one place to the other, so he was super strong in the upper body. And yeah, this hand reminds me of his hands because they have these strong knuckles and fingers and a little bit fleshy hands. I don't even know what's going on with my friends in Cuba because they don't have electricity. So you never know what's going on, if they are doing fine or they are suffering. Although suffering is a strong word for Cubans, they don't like to say the word suffering, even though a lot of people are suffering. Regular Cubans are like, this is unbearable, but they don't say I'm suffering. Some people are truly suffering. Some people are losing their minds. Very sensitive people have a hard time in that country. I think the people that stay were the ones that decided, I'm gonna survive and I'm gonna make it regardless of the environment. But other people that were more gentle souls, that they needed the government to take care of them, those people are suffering 100%, because guess what? Nobody's taking care of them and their life is really bad. Um, I mean, the Cuban government, don't get me started because I don't like talking trash a lot about people, but I'm just amazed that they haven't really decided how to fix the problem, and they are just waiting for tomorrow and waiting for tomorrow. Like tomorrow is this never ending. Maybe one day things are gonna get better. It's like it's not gonna get better. Like you need to do actively about it. Nobody's gonna save your ass. You're just living from a little bit of here, a little bit of there, but become independent. Figure out your own economy. Stop complaining about the global economy and your enemy and all this stuff. Is like, shut up. Take responsibility for the crap that you have created. And guess what? People don't even want you there. Like the people don't want them there anymore. They don't want them. So just change the system. Be the person that is brave and says, I'm going to change the system, because obviously we fail. Maybe it wasn't our fault, maybe it was our fault. It doesn't matter at this point. We need to change the strategy. We need to allow the Cubans to solve their problems. And the Cuban people are very resourceful and capable of solving their problems. Really. And they want to solve their problems. So it's just a matter of the government saying, you know what, we are going to allow you to develop the economy. And that's it. But these people, they want the full control. Oh, we don't want people getting rich and all this stuff. Like, dude, nobody's gonna take your position. Like, you can keep it. Nobody wants your position anyway. We just want to be allowed to prosper, make businesses, generate jobs, make money, have a good life, improve the country, make it wealthy, and work. Like, literally, we want the best for Cuba. Why are you don't allow us to do that? I would love to open like a retreat school, so people that want to do art from here, from the United States, and they want to retreat in Cuba, they can go and paint and do art over there and travel the city. That's awesome. They get to have a little bit of a tourist thing while doing art. People love that. And I would love to host it. And I have the place where I can host it. And I have probably the money to do it. But then the Cuban government and the American government is like, no, we don't want anybody to benefit. And we don't want anybody to do X, Y, and Z. And so it's like, well, I guess this is going to happen when I'm going to be 80 years old. Because this is not going anywhere. And just because these stupid people in power, that they don't care. They really don't care. The Cuban government doesn't care, and the American government doesn't care either, obviously. Because if not, we have been solved this problem a long time ago. And then it's all about people letting go of the history. A lot of people is like, oh, my family lost this and my family lost that. And it's like, dude, but think about it. If you keep holding yourself attached to that past, your children and their grandchildren will never be able to move forward, because you cannot let go of the past. They did this to us, so now we cannot have a conversation or reach an agreement or find a solution because of what they did. I cannot trust them. It's like, well, but if you don't do that, nothing's going to change. We're going to be all stuck in the same thing again and again, repeating the pattern, repeating the same cycle of vengeance and resentment, frustration, hatred. No. Let it go. Yeah, it didn't happen. Yeah, you lost. Guess what? Millions of people have lost. You're not the first one. It was unfair. Guess what? Nature is unfair as hell. It's true. Our ancestors knew this. The bad people didn't get sick and die. The good people did. And then with the bubonic plague, it was proven that religion didn't have any influence on death outcome because they were dying too. So that's why Renaissance came over with science and the returning to the Greek times and all the stuff, is because religion was like proven wrong pretty much. They didn't have any special discounts on hell or heaven, and they were dying the same because of the ticks, and they didn't know it. So that was a lesson for humanity to learn. It's like, yeah, you didn't deliver, my friend. So let's go to the next thing. And science has been very good at delivering. I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm just saying that it delivers for sure. And it's very stable method, not bulletproof, but very stable method of figuring out reality and getting predictable outcomes. So kudos to science for that. Okay, the hands are not perfect, but at this point I need to move forward with the next level, because if not, I'm gonna be in the hands forever. Hands are very fun to work on, by the way. So we only have, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I think the problem was that I didn't really use the Vaseline or baseline here, and that's why it opens all the time. It's not gripping into the wire, but that's okay. It doesn't really. It's not important. It's not this big deal. So anyway, the lofty questions are really good, and it's a great exercise. For example, when you're feeling that your body's not doing great, just do lofty questions like, how come that my body, or why is it that my body can recover faster and better every time I have every session or regress? Why is it that I have less and less pain every day? Because I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of amplification of the mind based on what the body feels, and that's being hypochondriac pretty much. If you really obsess about it, your mind is amplifying because it's putting so much attention and stress that now I think that is like a 2 becomes a 4, a 5, because you are frustrated about it. So the lofty questions is kind of like canceling that part of the machine so it doesn't put noise into the system, and then open the possibilities of, am I feeling better? Am I feeling better? And yes, you do have pain, and you can do active things to find out why you have pain, but at least you don't drown in the mental game of, why does this happen to me? Why is this happening to me? And if you say, why is it that my body can heal itself? Or why is it that every day that I meditate or I send energy to my body, I feel better and I'm better? And Tony Robbins created this thing, like it's a chant, and he called it affirmation or whatever, that you go around running, walking, really changing the activity of energy of your body, and chanting like, every day in every way I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way I'm getting healthier and healthier, or smarter and smarter, or stronger and stronger. There is a purpose, and I think it's brilliant that you do that, because I did, and it really starts empowering you into the opposite direction. And now you feel like I need to take action in my belief, because now it's a belief. What can I do that it can make me stronger and stronger? And then you go, how come that every day when I follow the right diet and I follow the right training, I become stronger, 10 times stronger, because my body is this wonderful machine. So you can play with the lofty questions and really become an expert of amplification of benefit. But I'm going to tell you, even though it looks woo-woo and bullshitty, oh, there's something here. Suffering gives the person greater wisdom in the long run. It helps you connect with many other people who also suffer. Always a great subject. Jesus suffered. Yes, Jesus suffered. And even taking away the whole reason why he had to suffer, he knew that it was for the benefit of humanity. And that's why he went through it. He was like, if I do the opposite, I'm condemning humanity to this cycle that we're trapped. So he broke that. And he was the only guy that did, well, I don't know a lot of history, but I think he's the main guy that did it. Because I know that Muhammad from the Quran, every time he was in danger and, Allah made sure that he would get the message that somebody wanted to kill him, he would run away. But Jesus didn't run away. Jesus took it on and he said, this is the way. And he suffered a lot, so. And he knew that he was going to die. So his faith was tested in that moment, because nobody wants to die. Even if they have a strong faith, it's like, maybe there's a little bit of suspicion on what if it's not true? Or what if nothing is there? Or even like, I'm having such a good time in life that I don't want to cut it now, because you don't know if you're going to come back. Or in his case, they didn't believe they would come back. Maybe if you're an Indian, you're like, it doesn't matter, I'm going to be back. Maybe in the shape of a cow, which is a good life in India. Yeah, sorry I didn't see you there. I was expecting nobody to show up, to be honest. So I was talking for people that, if they want to watch the videos, because I point them like, oh, I was having this good conversation about this when they ask. Yesterday I was having a conversation with Chuck from the Woodburn Corner Club about creativity and the role of AI and how AI is corrupting or permeating creativity, and how you make sure that you stay human in the process of creativity while using AI. And I think that's a subject that a lot of people are going for. I don't know if you stay or you just walk away because you were like, oh, she's not engaging in conversation. So I don't know if you're there, because I don't see if somebody's watching. But anyway, the hand is not perfect, but it's good enough. I mean, I don't need this hand to be 100%. I think it would be better if I just bring them together like that. Yeah, I think that is going to make my life easier. In terms of sculpting, it's going to be more stable. So I will see you tonight. So with the lofty questions, it's pretty much like empowering you to be positive and look for, I can see the thing, and look for the good stuff, the things that are going good in your life. And I think a lot of the problems is the distortion in our brains. Like, we have real problems, but then there's a lot of stuff that is not a real problem that we put in the category of bad. And it's that mental game, it's that filtering of, is my life good? Listen, I have an art studio and I could be doing art every day of my life, and my existence doesn't depend on that hobby, and I could spend whatever time I want painting. But then we have all this societal thing and this causality thing that, oh, you're supposed to make money, you're supposed to sell it. How are you going to justify the expense? And how are you going to justify your time here painting? And I'm thinking, dude, Van Gogh was painting because it was for his mental health. His doctor said if he calms the heck down painting, make him paint, give him painting supplies, because the man is losing his shit. And he painted this beautiful art that nobody could understand or like because it looked like the work of a crazy person, and nobody cared for it. His brother was the only person that cared for that stuff. And now they sold it, they made money. Van Gogh never experienced the benefits of it, but he impacted the life of his descendants, indirect descendants, doing that work without even knowing what he was doing. He was just trying to not suffer. And I'm thinking, why am I not doing that? Why am I creating excuses and putting all these masks and halves and crap to not do it? So at the end of the day, it's fear. It's mainly like, it's fear to all this conditioning and all these requirements. And I'm like, well, don't you call yourself a brave person and somebody that gives the finger to the system and somebody that is like, I don't believe in what you're saying? Why are you not doing it? That's the question. Why are you playing the game that you feel like it's easy to gain, but you're not playing the real game? And I'm not even saying, oh, you need to make money, or you need to pay the bills, or you need to justify anything. Really, you don't. You don't. So why am I playing this game? Just do the thing, have fun, and do it. So anyway, that's today's session. Let me see, what time is it? Oh, I still have time. It's early because I'm being here for quite some time. So I'm gonna play the video from Mr. Ray to see what he's doing. Because I'm pretty good with whatever is going on here. I don't want to continue going super deep into the nuances. I just feel like I want to move here to these two, and the hand is coming. Oh my god, the hand is coming this way. And I also am excited about putting the scapulae and the clavicles because it's such a pretty thing. This whole situation here, so beautiful to connect it all. I'm looking forward to it. It's one of those puzzle games that people enjoy. And then after I'm more advanced into the sculpting, I might take time to clean it up and make it look very pristine and all the stuff. And then my idea is to send it. Soft, that if something happens, he can fix it himself. It's easier to solve it when it's smooth than when it is baked and has hardened. I want him to make sure that if something is not working, he can fix it or improve upon it or move it here and there. But overall, I think it's quite well. It's quite pretty. I like the pose. I like the whole exaggeration of what I did here. And the good thing is that the muscles are going to hide a good amount of it. So I'm pretty excited of how this looks like. And I love that kind of that Davis look. So it's looking pretty good. So let's go to the boom. Oh, his hand is top notch. His hand is cool. Mine is a little kind of like primitive. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm surprised he did the clavicle.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to fashion
Let me
out
go
to
back
us.
to how he did the clavicle
Okay,
and
this
how
side is
he's
a little
going to
easier because
present it.
it's going to be part of the chest wall here. And the clavicle, each clavicle is going to be about an inch and a half long, or about the same length as the hand.
Inch and a half long. Okay.
And I'm going to just make it kind of simplistically first. Think of like bicycle handlebars, like this. Now kind of give you an idea as to what we're trying to do.
Hmm.
See that? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fashion a really good little strong clavicle here. Like a so, like that. Kind of curls back to us. Remember, it's like a 3-speed bicycle. Here are the handlebars. Can you picture that as being like handlebars coming towards you? Because if you can, it's going to really help me help describe this. The nice thing about this side is it's going to be really strong because it's embedded, it's part of the overall structure. Whereas over here, it's going to be kind of floating. And it's really tricky to pull out. So what I need to do is try to
I'm
make
going to
this
get dirty.
as strong as possible. It's not always easy. So what I'm going to try to do is have it rest on this little area here.
Okay.
This is just a little helper. Okay, there's no way around this. And I don't want to put wire in here like sometimes I do. I want to keep it a little bit simpler for you. I'm going to make the clavicle. Alright, so I'll get to this, don't worry. I just wanted to take a break from hands and do a different part of this session. Okay, I'll work down all the way down to there just a little bit. So about the size of the hand, yeah. It's a little bit thick, so I might trim that down. Remember, I'm thinking of like bicycle handlebars.
Let me see.
I'm going to have this end of the clavicle resting on that there, that little piece of clay. That's just like a little support clay. I don't oftentimes do this, but I need something there to help me place not only the clavicle on there, but also the scapula. Do you see what I'm trying to do? Is just adding clay there, and hopefully this will make it easier for us to finish this up. Okay? The actual humerus ends right in here. Okay? But we need something here to help support a scapula that I want to be floating away from these ribs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my objective. So I want you to know what I'm trying to get us to do together. Best thing to do is always have like good anatomy books and good images in front of you, and or the lecture notes from my lectures in front of you. This is where I'm going to put this.
god, guys. His
Okay, this side
sculpture
is a
is
little
awesome.
tricky.
Now that I'm looking at it, it's like
Part of
mine is not that
the
good.
chest wall here. The clavicle, this clavicle is going to be about an inch and a half long.
So with me,
About the same length as
I have
the
to
hand.
look at what he's doing first
And I'm going to just make it
to
kind of
understand what he's
simplistic
doing.
first. Think of like bicycle handlebars, like this. And I'll kind of give you an idea as to what we're trying to do. You see that? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fashion a really good little strong clavicle here. Like so. Like that. Kind of curls back to us. Remember, it's like a 3-speed bicycle. Here are the handlebars. Can you picture that as being like handlebars coming towards you? If you can, it's going to really help me help describe this. The nice thing about this side is it's going to be really strong because it's embedded, it's part of the overall structure. Whereas over here, it's going to be kind of floating. And it's really tricky to pull out. So what I need to do is to try to make this as strong as possible. It's not always easy. So what I'm going to try to do is have it rest on this little area here. This is just a little helper. Okay, there's no way around this. And I don't want to put wire in here like sometimes I do. I want to keep it a little bit simpler for you. I'm going to make the clavicle. Alright, so I'll get to this, don't worry. I just wanted to take a break from hands and do a different part of this session. Okay, I'll work that all the way down to there just a little bit. So about the size of the hand, yeah, it is. It's a little bit thick, so I might trim that down. Remember, I'm thinking of like bicycle handlebars.
Hmm.
I'm going to have this end of the clavicle resting on that there, that little piece of clay. That's just like a little support clay. I don't oftentimes do this, but I need something there to help me place not only the clavicle on there, but also the scapula. Do you see what I'm trying to do? It's just adding clay there, and hopefully this will make it easier for us to finish this up. Okay? The actual humerus ends right in here. Okay? But we need something here to help support a scapula that I want to be floating away from these ribs. And that's my objective. So I want you to know what I'm trying to
Okay, so I'm gonna look at the anatomy book. Oh, the music stopped. Ooh. Sorry, the music stopped. So I'm gonna. How do I feel that clavicles are not really that big? So I'm not feeling too bad about it. But I wanna look. Okay, it goes back, but it's not. It's a little close to the. Oh, it's about to give up on me. Yeah, so it's not that lengthy, and it would be good to have something to measure. Like, okay, this is good. So I'm doing the clavicle, as you can see, and I'm gonna keep it thick because I'm gonna shape it. I'm gonna shape it to what we need here, and it's gonna be perfect, just perfect. There we have it. So that's the right length for sure. Papi, you look good. Te llenaste de polen. But you look really good. Tienes que amarrarte mejor eso. A ver, déjame amarrártelo. Papi, but you know, hoy no hay kung fu.
I know.
Okay, you wanted to show me?
Yeah.
Oh, you look
I
sharp.
was trying.
¿Ese es el traje tuyo? ¿Sabes que se pone un pullover, que no se pone directo? You have to wear a shirt. Sí, ese es el cero. Oh my god, looking good. You look like a pro. Do you look yourself in the mirror?
Yes.
Don't you look
I
amazing?
just first let's see if this was too long, but then I was like, nope.
No, está perfecto. And you look amazing. Oh, you're eating my snacks. Tienes una java en el pantry. Don't eat those. Tienes un...
That's yours?
Sí, porque me entra hambre cuando estoy trabajando
Why?
aquí.
Do you have deadlines?
No, cuando vengo al estudio me meto horas y horas. Como tú te metes horas con Minecraft, I spend hours with my art.
Yeah, that is true. Mom, do we have to take a bath to find the
Sí.
bicycle?
Yes.
Like right after we dress up after taking a bath.
You didn't dress up. You were testing how
But
you...
if we do,
Tienes
I
que...
didn't put on our clothes.
Sí, te
This
van a...
one doesn't count.
Yeah, you have to take a bath now. Recoger la lonchera.
And after that,
And after that, recoger un poco de reguero, ¿verdad?
where?
En el playroom está regado.
Okay.
Y después de eso, puedes jugar con devices. Can you take this back to over there?
But what is my payment?
Your payment is a kiss.
I can't remember that. Where do we turn?
Y tengo un bunny. Tengo la tortuga y la liebre como en la historia.
Easter bunny?
No, the turtle and the hare. Because I always fluctuate between those speeds.
Goodbye.
Ciao, Bobby. You look amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna cut the live streaming here because I need to prepare food so I can go to Kung Fu class. By the way, guys, my Kung Fu school is in Wake Forest, and you can go to train Tai Chi, Qigong, and Kung Fu. If you don't want to do Kung Fu, you can do Tai Chi, Qigong, which is great for your health and your balance and your healing. And I'm teaching Qigong on Fridays in the school. I wouldn't call it teaching, I guide Qigong sessions for your benefit. Let's say you don't have to do much, you don't have to learn it, you just follow along and you're gonna feel amazing afterwards. So that's another thing that I'm doing if you want to give it a try. People really like it. The people that have gone, they like it. they get a lot of benefit because it's very relaxing. It's one of those things that are very, very relaxing, and you're not actively doing anything. You're just being in your body and allowing your body to move the way it's supposed to move. And people find it very calming. It's kind of like a meditation, and a breathing meditation, a movement meditation. And also, we work on structural alignment of the body so people never have pain, they don't feel super tired. We also have a modality that you can sit on a chair, although I don't recommend it because you need to strengthen your body. Pretty much, it's like, yeah, you need to be strong. So I don't like telling people, oh yeah, go for the chair first. Go for the chairs if one day you feel extra tired, or you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to push it with my legs and my knees. By all means, go for it. But the idea is to strengthen your legs, and it works. It works wonders. So if you want to give it a try, you can come. The first time is free, and then there's a package that the school is putting together for people to add that extra class of qigong. We do healing on nighttime with Master Baird. He's the master, so you should go to that class. Last time we did qigong healing, and it was really good to learn it. But then we are adding that extra class with me because it's more experiential about how to do it in the right way, qigong, like how to do the qigong the right way, where you feel the energy. You learn how to use your mind to guide the chi flow and things like that. And so far, I mean, it has been really good so far. People are really liking it. Let me see here. What are we doing? Okay. Okay. Bring this here. I definitely need to work on my health because one of the things that I want to have is really good eyesight as I age. So the idea with AI is to really limit and narrow the screen time, delegate to the AI so the AI can do these processes. So we humans can do stuff that is good for our health instead of watching screens, because the screens are really bad for our eyesight. That's a reality. That's 100% truth for all of us. So that's the hope, that we're gonna start getting rid of all these detrimental things that we have in our daily routine. Well, today has been a good session. We got a bunch of things done, like the hand is looking better, so that's a thing. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. I have to do it in another way. Yeah, let's do it this way. Okay, so the hand is looking better, not perfect, better. And I'm ready to move to the clavicles. So working on these, making sure that the clavicle is very sexy clavicle. Yeah, I don't know how to attach it, I guess. Let me think if I can attach it. My iPad died, so yeah, I think I'm gonna live pretty soon because I don't want to go without eating, or at least preparing my meal before Kung Fu class. And I really don't know if I'm gonna be leading the beginners class or Michelle is gonna be leading the beginners class. That's an excellent question. To be honest, I barely use any other tools. I only use one tool. It's funny because today we were talking about, I guess you need to have several tools. And I'm like, well, it depends, really. You can do most of something with one tool. It depends on how you want the piece to go. If you're doing a big painting or a big sculpting, there are phases that you need this one because you're going for the main blockages and the main structures and you need everything to really interconnect. But then when you go into this nitty gritty work, I see myself using only one tool, to be honest. Maybe two tools, the knife for some things, but even here the knife is way too much. At least for the rigidity of the material right now. So I'm like, yeah, about that. No, I don't need anything. Mm-mm-mm. So here definitely I'm gonna move you a little back because clavicle connects with the scapulae in a very specific way. So I need to move it back here. If I'm not, yeah, it's kind of behind the sternum. Okay, so that's pretty good. We can always move things around a little bit to stretch it if it's necessary. I don't think so. Let's go here. I was just having an idea, and that's the good thing about I'm invisible. Oh, sorry, you were there. But I didn't see you. Oh my god, I didn't know you were there. So, I was having this idea. I don't know if Master Barrett is watching or no. Sorry, because today I'm focused. I was having this idea of there's this course that I want to learn because I have this internal depth of learning this complicated software called ZBrush, which is some sculpting software and digital sculpting software, and it's really powerful. And people make really cool things with it. But I'm debating myself if I really want to spend the time and the energy learning it. Would that justify? What would justify learning it except my ego that want to feel and I nail it? It's like, and I nail that. Even though there's no real purpose for me to learn it because I'm not going to be working doing concept art or anything like that. I'm more like, okay, let's make art, traditional art. And then I was thinking, okay, it's kind of like this. When you're doing this study, are you going to be a sculptor? Are you going to focus only on the human figure? Are you going to teach anatomy? Like, why are you spending time doing this? It's because it's a study and you want to learn it. There is an aspect of, you did it, you have this goal and you achieved it. There's the aspect of really observing and paying attention to things that before you didn't care much because it was like an entanglement of things. But now you're building and you're thinking, how is everything connecting? And when you put the muscles, it's like, where are things connecting and pulling? So there's a study reason for it. Is this something I'm going to do for the rest of my life? No. Who knows? Maybe yes, if I like it. But the whole thing is that, why are you doing what you do? It's because you want to learn it. Why do you want to learn it? Because I want to understand how things work so I can paint them without having to think much about it. You need to study stuff so you can distort it and you can change it later. But if you don't understand it, you won't be able to distort it in a way that is believable. So I was thinking, okay, why would I study ZBrush? And I thought the only way to justify ZBrush is for learning purposes, for rendering purposes, and for creating your own references. And I was like, okay, that can be, because that means that I don't need to learn everything. I just need to learn enough so I can make really good references for my art. It's just another way to make a reference. It's a complex one, yeah. Some people, they create maquettes and they put all the creatures and they sculpt the creatures and they put the lights and all the stuff. And based on that construction, that's their references, and their art is gonna look pretty good because of that. So photography is another way of getting a reference. If you wanna make like a realistic painting, a photograph is a good way to go because nothing is changing in the environment. Copying from reality, it takes a long time. It takes a lot of observation. It's very tiring. I have done it, so I know how it feels. Having a photograph, it's more easy for you to copy in a sense, but it has its own kind of worms because photography flattens the image and it steals the depth. So it's introducing distortions. And people that paint from reality, they can tell the distortions. People that don't, people that have been only using photo references, they cannot tell the difference. And that's a limitation. So when it comes to AI can make good references. That's true. It's real. It can improve your references. With ZBrush, you have to spend a lot of time working on it to get a good reference, true, but then you're learning why things work. You're learning why this is better or worse because you're building it. With AI is going to build it for you, but you won't know why or how to change it, or period. The AI it's not going to change it for you. Nowadays AI can do it. You can change the chat, the lights, the shadows. You can change a lot of things with AI, but before people were doing AI stuff and not knowing anything about AI, and to me it looked awful because I knew what I was looking at. That's what I felt like. Journey had this quality of wow factor, but something was off. And if you don't know what is off because you haven't studied it, you wouldn't notice. But I noticed because I'm studying plants. I love flowers, and I look at a lot of books of flowers, and suddenly I see these plants made by AI. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. That's botanically incorrect. And for other people, it's like, oh, look at this pretty flower thing. It's like, well, but it's not true. Like, it's not based on reality. You're okay with that. And the same with human people. Like, AI was doing these weird humans, and maybe you couldn't tell, but you knew something was off, but you couldn't say what was off. While somebody that studies anatomy is like, what happened there? Like, that person doesn't know anatomy. That AI doesn't know anatomy. Nowadays, it's better because you give it photo references, and it has been improved over time to do a better job. But going back to the main subject of why would I do that course that is an investment of time, brain cells, and money when I could just use AI, is because AI is going to give it a certain look and it's going to corrupt your references. Now that I'm not going to try it because there's a factor of wowness that trends have. The problem is that it shouldn't stay in the picture, in the final painting. You shouldn't be able to tell this is a trend because it's not going to age well. Your art is not going to age well. So I was thinking about, is that worth my time? Is that worth the experience? And I thought, well, if it is for reference building, it's okay. I mean, you could build your reference by actually sculpting something, or you could do it in computer faster and then you render it whatever way you want it, and now you have your reference. So I'm debating myself of what would be better, what would give me the most amount of control and input and stylization. And I agree that ZBrush is great for exploration because there is no commitment. You can do crazy shit with it, and it's a digital world. Anything can happen. When it comes to this type of sculpting, you need to have a knowing of what you're going to do, and you need to follow certain rules, and there's all the things that you need to know way ahead of time. You cannot just go and pull things and it's going to work. No. With ZBrush, that's where you do that type of processing of, let me try this weird composition and this weird creature and these forms, and for that is great. But then for rendering, I would use it, I think, for light and shadow, forms, composition maybe, but I wouldn't use it for the final rendering because it's going to give the piece a CGI look. Now, if I want to render fast, should I use AI for major stuff? Maybe for main things that I'm like uncertain on how to achieve them, like a specific materials or maybe major colors attempts. AI can be helpful, but at the end of the day, the translation from that world to the painting, that's what I have to be making those decisions. And you can do it in the digital painting too. You can make those decisions ahead of time, like I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. So I was thinking about the different aspects of the process that would be fun. It wouldn't make it too tedious. It wouldn't draw me into the details of one form or one part of the process versus another part of the process, but it still is going to create this output that is going to be unique to me. And it's like how you optimize your uniqueness to something that nobody else can replicate, right? So it's a very interesting thought process for sure. Ooh. My scapula is just very weird right now. Okay, let's do this. Well, I definitely have presbytia because I cannot see very well at this distance. I used to see very well at up close, but it was because I was myopic. But after the surgery, the LASIK surgery, they took that away. I couldn't see up close. Yeah, they kind of aim for a mid-range that it would do most of the work for me. Well, somebody's hungry. Okay. Peace and blessings. I love that. We all need peace and blessings. So this is the question. Do I want to travel physically to places? Or do I want to travel in my paintings, in my imagination? That was the way I used to travel to fabulous, fantastic places when I was a child. And now I'm thinking, do I really want to go through all that travel? But then I'm like, if I had the money, would I go to X, Y, and Z? If it's going to give me an opportunity to experience spiritual stuff and feel the energy of spiritual places, I'm like, sign me up. Like, I would take an airplane and travel there. And I would love to have the money to have the best experience, like luxury experience of doing it. Yeah, you don't want to go struggling and having to suffer a lot of things just because you cannot afford better quality. Yes, I would love to have that. Mainly, I would like to go to a workshop in Italy and see how the painters do and learn stuff like that. It's like, oh my god, that's so cool to have those experiences and have that memory. I know that I did a retreat for anatomy in Las Vegas. My husband gifted me with that experience. And man, that was the best vacation that I had because it was an entire week of just doing sculpting anatomy and studying anatomy in an environment that was concentrated on focus on that, and I didn't have to pretty much do anything else. I would go there, do my studies, eat, go back, and then go home, eat something, and sleep pretty much. And I was pregnant of my second child. I was standing all day long, so I was kind of tired at the end of the day, but the soul was on fire. I was like, oh my god, give me more of this. Like, this is awesome. This is vacation for me. And I really like, when I go on vacation, I'm not so interested in going around and seeing things and all that stuff. I'm more interested in an event, like doing some self-growth work. I'm more interested in that. That's me. That's for me. It's like, yeah, I don't want to spend, I don't know, like, yeah, the pyramids are cool and everything, but if you go with a bunch of tourists, it kind of kills the mood for me. And the pyramids are like mainly tourists. So, but yeah, the experience of going and studying art in nature or someplace in another country that is more, there's a different energy, or maybe even spiritual practices. Oh my god, even Tai Chi Qigong. Imagine going to an Asian country with the nice mountains and you're doing Tai Chi Qigong there. It's like, oh my god, this is amazing, right? Who doesn't want this? But mainly, I think that the worlds that we can tap through imagination, through our art, those worlds are so much incredibly attractive to me than maybe some places in our planet. The energy, though, is different, of course, but I think, like, for me, that would be the bomb. For me, it's like, yeah, I want to paint this amazing idea that I have in my mind and be able to put it together and make it work. So AI can help for sure with that grand vision, but you also need to keep your own style, your own voice to make it really wonderful. Okay, so this is not as skewed as I thought it would be, and it's mainly because, okay, it shouldn't be that big. That's the thing. So let's make it a little bit narrow. Looking better. Looking better here. I gotta go because I'm very hungry. I haven't eaten much today. I'm gonna drink water, but check that out. I have my clavicles. Yay. So I need to see if this is correct. And for that, I need to do it another day with fresher eyes, for sure. And my tablet died, so we need to charge it. Am I still? Yes, broadcasting. Okay, so I'm gonna close the microphone. I will see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Yes. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna be in my computer. I would love to come back to the art studio. I miss being here. This is the best place to be. This type of work is very relaxing, and slowing down is so good for my health. And I also want to get this thing done. I'm not gonna lie, I've been working on this for forever, and it's like we need to move forward. For sure, want to move forward, because we have other projects coming on 2027. Definitely, my teacher Ray Bustos is cooking another workshop, hopefully hosted by New Masters Academy. And in that case, when he gets that done, I'm gonna work on my creature, my bird spider, Stupor ex arborus, and it's gonna be amazing to actually build the thing. I just need to get like tiny tools because I want to do it true size. I want to build it true size, and for that, I want it to be kind of the palm of my hand. So that's kind of small and cute, but it takes a lot of detail work. But I'm gonna be so proud once it's done. It's gonna be the cutest thing ever. It's definitely gonna be delicate work because of these big fingers trying to get things around. So it's gonna be interesting. I was even thinking to 3D print the skeletal structure and just put the clay on top of it. Because building the armature, that's when things go south. Proportionally speaking, the plying and bending of stuff, that's where things get out of control. And I want this creature to be on point, which I don't mind then only printing the skeleton and then putting the muscles and then putting the body, kind of like a feathery look body. That would be cool. That would be awesome. So, and it's not super, I don't know if it's going to be super expensive. I hope not. It would be interesting though. And even if it is expensive, whatever. I get to do like a whole video on it. Maybe a course that I can sell and recover the money. But yeah. So, see you tomorrow, guys. Same time, 3 p.m. EST. And enjoy the working and also say hello. I'm sorry that I didn't say hello back to Master Baird. But I was so ingrained in my thinking process and talking, and I thought nobody's going to show up anyway, so it's like, I don't even know. Next time, I'm going to make sure that I keep my eye on the YouTube channel and the chat to say hello to people. But I hope you enjoy it, and the music was good. Was Alberto Voli, a friend of mine. He's a spiritual practitioner, and he makes this music for the spirit. So anyway, thank you for being here, and I will see you tomorrow here at Sandra Salem Art Studio in beautiful Rolesville.